Yo guys, what's going on? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite. Today's date is December 18th. It is a Saturday. I am finally able to speak somewhat again after being sick for about a week. So it's time to do a market update to see where we are. Generally speaking, overall, I've basically shared everything that I've been doing over TikTok, over Twitter, I don't know if it was over Instagram, but over TikTok and Twitter for sure. So if you're not following me there, definitely follow me there. I'll put the links in the description below. But yeah, it was basically sold off, de-risked a ton a couple weeks ago, and basically went all into Ethereum at around 3,600 and bought more, or basically 3,700 and then 3,600 is when I went all in. So I've just been riding that out. Also, obviously, I bought Quant at 147 and I'm still in that. And I've basically been slowly accumulating different coins overall. So that's what I'm doing now. And we're just going to go over the whole market update right now just so we could get a better picture. So the first thing that I like to do, in case you're new here, is I like to go over a lot of the macro view topics using indicators such as this Pi cycle indicator, the MVRVZ score, the R-hodl ratio, rainbow chart, fear and greed index, market caps, dominances, stuff like that, And I just took a look at all of these, and honestly, they're smack dab in the middle. They don't tell you anything right now. So let's go through them one by one very, very, very quickly. Let's start off with this CBBI chart. This is the Bitcoin index that utilizes 11 different metrics to basically see where Bitcoin is in terms of where it is during the bull run. Or is it a bull market? Is it a bear market? Where in the cycle are we? And this is 51. So it goes from 0 to 100, 51 right in the middle. So yeah, it's really doesn't tell you anything. If this is over 90, so for this one, if it's 95 or higher, I exit all the markets. If it's 10% or lower, I just buy everything and hold. But like I said, 51 doesn't tell you anything. It was at 76 when it was at 75 when Bitcoin was at 63,000. Where was Bitcoin? Where was it when it was 69,000 or 68,000? I can't really get that on here. But regardless, the top was back here at 97, 98, 99, 100. Top was back here at 99, 100. And so 51 doesn't tell you anything. Moving on. Pi cycle top indicator. Look at this. Right here was the first bear market. Right here was the second bear market. Right here was the third bear market. Right here was the most recent crossover for this indicator, which obviously it happened back in April. But then we had the huge rally, and this is the thing, we rallied up higher than we were previously, but previously we topped out at 64,000, but then we got all the way up to 68,000, 69, so this might be a double top, but it's definitely not a complacency bounce. That's for sure. This right here was a complacency bounce. Even this right here was a complacency bounce. Even this right here was a complacency bounce. The same thing with this. But this right here, this is higher than back here. So the possibly double top if this was the end of the bull market. Intuitively, I'm torn right now. I really don't think this is. I really think that Bitcoin is going to be $180,000 to $240,000 per Bitcoin by the end of this cycle, which I believe should be in 2022, next year. However, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and the world's top executives, I believe the executive for Microsoft, they've all taken more money off the table in the last month, this December, than they did in the previous year or years. Billions of dollars. Last time we had all of these people taking all of this money out of the markets, that was back, I think that was back here, actually. It was either back here or it was maybe it was 2018. I don't remember. All I remember is that there was a time. Oh no, that was during the COVID crash. That was during the COVID crash. So that was right here, actually. Yeah, that was in 2019, and that's when this happened, right? So who knows what's gonna happen right now, you know? But at least I know from where I'm in at 3,600 Ethereum, we're still above that, so I'm still good, and I have stops. You know, I have stop orders in place to sell if we dip below a certain price, and you know, I'll get out, I'll go back in cash, and I will try to get in lower if that's the case. That's on my trading account. In my investment portfolio, I'm not really touching that, although if I'm honest, I really want to take a lot of my investment portfolio and move it over to my trading portfolio and start trading it, because my trading portfolio is doing fine. My investment portfolio is down since all-time highs by like 50% or so. It's still relatively okay because like I got into a lot of the stuff back during the lows in during the summer, but it's a lot of them are back to break even, and that is infuriating, especially because I was up like hundreds of like over 100% on some of them. So that's something I'm contemplating doing. But overall, I do know that if you play the long game, that you will come out on top. I mean, I have a friend that he made about $2 million back in 2017, January 2018, right? At the peak of the market. And he actually cashed out. He cashed out at the peak. And he didn't get back in until middle of this year, I want to say. But the thing is, even though he literally timed this perfectly, he stayed out of the market until all of this happened and the market went crazy. And if he would have just stayed in and held for a couple of years, he would have had $200 million. So that really is like, oh man, that's a big story. Same thing. I mean, same things happened to me. I mean, I had a bunch of Doge, like a lot of Doge, like an insane amount. Before it was even a penny, you know, when it was under a penny, if I would have just held it, even if it went down 50, 80%, 90%, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been worth $7 million plus, you know. So that's why I sort of want to just keep on holding in my long-term investments. That's why I have a long-term investment account. You know, that's why I have two accounts. One account, my long-term investment, I don't care. It's multi-year. It's just years and years and years. I want to hold it. And then my trading account, I have my trading account, which is, you know, doing fine, in and out. Sorry for going on that tangent. Next up, let's keep on going through this. We have the R-HODL ratio, but like I mentioned, none of these are really telling you anything. I mean, this one, once it goes into the pink, obviously that's when you want to sell because it dictates the tops. Once it gets down here, that's when you really want to buy because it usually dictates the bottoms or close to the bottoms. We're in the middle, so nothing you can really do. Yeah, I'm just going to exit out of this. Next, we got the Bitcoin rainbow chart. It's in the HODL territory, which, yeah, I think like right now, HODLing is the good move, is the move to do, because it's, we may be at a bottom right now. We may be at the bottom, you know, right where we are, and we will see if it, once we get into the charts, you'll see the actual charts. It'll make more sense. But yeah, like I said, I'm hodling from what I bought. There's a lot of people who bought, or maybe not a lot of people, but a few people with a lot of money who sold over $60,000 Bitcoin, and they're starting to reaccumulate now. That's really good. That's really good for the long-term holders. That's really good for the bulls, because reaccumulation by the whales usually means that things are looking good. Plus, a lot of the money is being outflown from the exchanges to wallets, to hardware wallets, or just to personal wallets, and they're not on the exchanges, so they can't be sold. And there's less and less and less on the exchanges. Less Bitcoin on the exchanges means that more people are holding it, which means that it's scarcer, which means that the fundamental principle is driving the price, should drive the price up over time. And so we're looking at that, and I'm gonna continue to hold just like what this chart, you know, is basically dictating right now. All right. Next up, we got the Fear and Greed Index, which right now is at 29. And honestly, I wish that it was much less than this, because for the Fear and Greed Index, what I do is if it's under 15, it's an automatic buy. If it's over 75, then I start scaling out, unless we are entering into a full-blown bull market, which obviously we're not entering into a full-blown bull market because we've been in one for 2 years now. So the fact that it's at 29, even if it was at 24 yesterday, you know, that's extreme, quote unquote, extreme fear. It's honestly not fearful enough for me to really convince me to just like go all in. It's still in that territory where it's like, it's leaning more bullish because everyone's scared. But there's not enough people that are scared, or maybe just everyone just got numb to the feeling and then of it dipping. But we really need to see a really big dip for it to go much lower and get into my automatic buy price or automatic buy number, which is 15 or below. So 29 doesn't really tell you anything. Also, we have, you know, like I said, it was 24 before, and then 24. So it's been consistently under 30 for the past month. 23, this was probably the best time to buy, but yeah, still not good enough. So let me exit out of that. And then if we go into the funding rates, you could see that the funding rates for the perps are negative, which basically across the board. I don't really know why ETH is positive or Sol and DOT. I don't know why any of these are positive. I mean, I know technically the reason why, but it seems like they shouldn't be. Like, I don't know why they are, but most things are negative, which is good, because that is short-term bullish, which is fine, which is good. And I think being a short-term bullish right now is fine, especially at the levels that we're at, and we'll see that in a second. So those are all of the fundamental things, aka which basically is like, okay, cool. So it could go either way, you know, let's just be real here. So let's go into the actual charts and see if there's some things we could glean from the charts itself. So I'm going to throw this on here and go to my market scan. So I start off with the total market cap, right? If we look at the total market cap, you could see that we came up this level right here, 2.4 trillion is very, very, very important. Sorry, what is going up with my hair? Yeah, it's super important. This was the top back in May. This was also the top back in September. And we jumped right through it, almost got to we tapped 3 trillion. We did tap $3 trillion for the entire market cap of all cryptocurrencies, and then have been dumping since then. And that was back November 10th. So it has been approximately 1 month and 8 days since the top. And is this the bottom? Well, the first thing that I like to do is go to the weekly and see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this can't be a 5-wave structure because this broke down below here. So if you take the Fibonacci, so the next thing I like to do is I like to take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, look at the 61.8, and if we go like this, and it looks like we tapped the 61.8 and then came all the way back up. But this Fibonacci doesn't totally make like too much sense. Like, I guess we grabbed it here and then shot up, but Fibonacci doesn't make too much sense. Just how about just looking at regular support and resistance levels? Well, we remember the 2.4, that was the resistance. We finally busted through that, tapped it again, and shot up again. But now we went below it, and then we shot up, and we tapped it again as resistance, right? And then we came down. So fingers crossed, we get to come back up and tap it again as resistance. However, last week right here, this was a indecision doji candle, and then this week was red. So a red candle after an indecision candle is basically the market saying, hey, look, we're red, like it's red. It's not good. something that is sort of good is that the RSI is coming into the lows. Last time it did that was, around 1.4 trillion. And really, if you would have gotten in literally any time that it was around the lows, it wouldn't have mattered, because we're obviously much, much, much greater and much more above where we were back then. So it is coming back into the levels of where it was before, which means that, yeah, it could continue to go down a little bit. But overall, if we do have another rebound, it shouldn't really go much further. However, let's go back to the daily real quick. Looking at the daily, we're in between a rock and a hard place right now, because we're bouncing on the daily 200-day moving averages, daily 200-day exponential moving average. We got the 200-day moving average. And then obviously we have the 9 and 18, the 10 and 20, the 12 and 24, whatever exponential moving averages you use. These ones are in a clear downtrend. The market has been it's been in a clear downtrend. Like, it's in a bear market. Like, right when we crashed through here, like, that was pretty much the sign that, okay, we're in a bear market now. And so it could last a couple of weeks, or it could last for this month. It could last 2 months, or it could last a lot longer, but it could also be very short. And, I mean, the COVID thing was super short. This thing was super short. This lasted a couple months, and then obviously it jumped back up. This lasted a couple months and jumped back up. Maybe this will last a couple months and then a few months and then jump back up. We don't know. Nothing fundamentally is telling us anything. Nothing except for the on-chain analytics, which is bullish. But then we have the bearish case, like I mentioned before, with the big CEOs in traditional finance taking a lot of money out of the markets, and it's almost like they're preparing for something. It's like they're just going heavy into cash, which is not good. Looking at the daily, I don't like how the stock RSI is all the way up here. That's it's really not good, to be honest. I do like this on the MACD though. This is a clear, look at this, moving up, boom, 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 like that. And this is clearly moving down. So a little bit of a bullish, or not a little bit, but definitely a bullish divergence. Plus, what is with this? What is this with this volume candle right here? Like, are you seeing this? Look at the volume, and then all of a sudden this happened on December 14th. I think there was maybe that was the day that CoinMarketCap just had the total screw up with everything and messed everything up. Because if you remember, that's where they said that we all gained 1 million% on everything. But yeah, I don't know what this volume candlestick is. I think that's just messed up on the API. But yeah, this is really a tight squeeze right here, and we're probably gonna it's like, are you trusting it to jump up again? And if it does jump up again, I'm going to be taking a lot. I'm hoping that it's going to jump up again, and then I'm going to take profits on a lot of my coins once it reaches right here. That's my game plan. I'm holding on, and I'm going to take a lot of profits once it comes here. Except for a few plays that I have in my trading portfolio. Of course, I have my stops in my trading portfolio. Okay. Let's just move on, because I'm spending way too much time on this, and we can do other things instead, such as look at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So this is the total market cap, everything except for Bitcoin. You can see it looks very, very similar. We had the top, we had the second top. This is 1.4 trillion. So looking back at this one, this was 2.4. This is 1.4, so $1 trillion less, right? And then this one finally broke through. And now, boom, came back down, and now it's between the rock and the hard place right here. I'm hoping that this comes back up, because this one, yes, it fell and then it popped back up, but that was that was very quick. I think it fell, and I'm hoping it comes back up. This is a big resistance right here. Big resistance right here, right here, right here. So it's a big resistance right here. So this is more of an indicator to me of when to sell, of when I'm going to sell. Is when the altcoin market reaches 1.4 trillion again. as opposed to when the total our market cap comes back up and reaches 2.4. So I am looking at this all the time, and fingers crossed it just pops back up, and I could exit a lot of my positions and go back into cash, because that's what I'm hoping for. Then we have Bitcoin market cap. Yeah, it got right into the 61.8 from, yeah, that was right. Boom, from here to here, 61.8, boom. And usually it pops back up to the 38.2. So, I mean, honestly, I see slight more downside, but then I see it coming back up here to at least the 38.2. Looks like good resistance to me as well. So, yeah, I feel like holding on until we get a big pop up to these levels is a good idea. Let's look at ETH's market cap. Ethereum just went on a rampage, broke down. Ethereum is also losing. This is really weird. This is pretty weird, to be honest, because let's look at the weekly. Maybe we'll get a better look at the weekly. Yeah, it's just breaking down. It's just continuing to break down. Doesn't look really the best, to be honest. I could only say, yeah, it looks like it's like slowly bleeding. I mean, this is the weekly. Let me see if I could pause the video and then think of anything else. I mean, all right, I do like the bullish divergence on the MACD. That's cool. I don't like the RSI at all. So we got the MACD being good, looking good, the RSI not looking good, and the price action not looking good. This is the big resistance now, so it's right at the resistance, so it's probably going to come back down. I'm just not liking it. Let's look at the dominance levels. This is important. We got the Bitcoin dominance. Let's do altcoin dominance, because that's people look at alts mostly. So altcoin dominance has had this huge resistance. Boom. 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 And now coming into it for the fourth time. This could be a good time to sell if it does come back up into this area, this orange box. I did put that it will most likely retrace here, but I expect it to be short-lived though, and then altcoin dominance to shoot back up. I am sort of expecting that, or I was expecting that. At this point, this one's hard to tell. RSI is already looking down. Doesn't look very good, to be honest. So MACD is just about to go up. We're just going up right now. So it's at a resistance. It's at a big resistance. I would love just love a pop up, but altcoin dominance is looking like that, which means altcoin dominance is going to go down, which means altcoins are probably going to go down. Bitcoin dominance is at the support. When was this? December 9th? Should de-risk here, going back into stables. Okay, well, I mean, this sort of went hand in hand with how I said I was de-risking a couple weeks ago, and how I'm continuing to risk even this week. I said I'm continuing. Once we get pops up, I'm de-risking a little bit, because this was a huge support level, and once Bitcoin dominance hits the support, that means that Bitcoin dominance is probably going to move up. When Bitcoin dominance moves up, that usually means that Bitcoin and altcoins, the whole market, is going down, but Bitcoin is simply going down at a lesser degree, than altcoins. So instead of going back into Bitcoin here, I want to go into USD, just go into stables, and then I'll get back into the markets once the coins reach their supports. And that's the Bitcoin dominance. And so so just going through all of this, it's not looking entirely good right now, to be honest. Things looking pretty bad. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. Start off on the monthly. All right. So possible new floor of the prior. This is just a big macro saying right here. A big macro quote. You quote me on this. I don't ever see Bitcoin going below $30,000 again. I just do not see Bitcoin going below 30,000. I believe if it does go below 30,000, no, let me rephrase that. If it goes to 30,000, I will sell. I don't know if I'll sell everything I have, but I will put everything I can into Bitcoin if it reaches $30,000. All right, let's go into the weekly here for Bitcoin. This is what I do. I use the Fibonacci. I took the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top of this run up. You could see there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, bottom to the top, 61.8. Boom. Bought everything at 30,000 because that was the 61.8. Then when was I going to sell? Take the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. Boom, 61.8. Sold everything at 51,000. Where was I going to buy? Where was I going to buy then? Well, take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top. Boom, 61.8. Bought it all back at 40,000, right there. Then this thing happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where do I want to buy back? Bottom to top. You go bottom to top that way, or you go bottom to top this way. Either way, let's do it. Let's do it this way because this was the wick. But 61.8. Boom. So 44,000 if you take it from the body, or 45,000 if you take it from the top of the wick. 45,500. Basically where we are right now, a few percentages away. Let's see how many percentages away we are. 2, 3, 4, 5%. Yeah, about 5% from the golden ratio. So I definitely, I mean, not definitely, but I see a bounce coming. I could see a bounce coming to at least 52,000, if not 54,000. The question is, will the bounce to $52,000 to $54,000, will that be sustained, or will that be just the bounce to get a head and shoulders formation, and then we come back down here and we make our way back down to the new floor? What I do know is that I'm about to make an alert and say I'm a de-risk some up here, because that is and I'm gonna draw the Fibonacci again, and I'm gonna share why I am de-risking right here, because it's at the 38.2, and if we hit the 61.8, if we just crash below that, you know what, that happens sometimes in trading, but we got all of this support right here. We got all this support at 44. So even if we do crash below it, we'd still bounce back up to at least up here afterwards. At least that's most likely scenario. And we are pretty oversold on the weekly. So let me let me go down to the daily. Maybe I could do this on the daily. Yeah, I'm gonna chart this out or make an alert real quick. So I'll be right back. Okay, let's move on to Ethereum. So looking at Ethereum now, we can see that there was this diagonal support line ever since the July lows. Here, boom, 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 boom. and we are just underneath of it. Like, I don't like that at all, because look at this. This was from October. This was for a month, right? We had this diagonal support line. We broke it, and yeah, we did have a nice rally, but we stayed underneath of it, and then we dumped, further. So I really don't want this to continue to dump. Not really sure even. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3. This has more than 3 touches, so it's legit. But obviously, $3,584. That's the weekly close. That's the previous resistance. It's new. It's the new support. It's an amazing support for Ethereum. This is the support that you need to pay attention to. This is the support that you need to be in. That makes the most sense to go into Ethereum at around 3,600, because it's the weekly close support. And it's also at the 200-day exponential moving average and almost the 200-day moving average. So, you know what? Like, if it comes back down here, I will buy more. Yeah. Basically, if it comes down here, I'll buy more. Ethereum is one of the best performing assets that we have. Maybe I'll look at the weekly, see if I can see anything on the weekly. Indecision candle followed by a red candle. That's not good. Like, it's just nothing is. It's a very indecisive market right now. Let me see if the Fibonacci tells me anything. Wow. Okay. Well, that makes me even more convinced that the $3,550, $3,584 is the place to long. It's not only is it the weekly resistance / support, but now it is the 61.8 confluence right here. So yeah, this is where you should buy if we get lucky enough to come back down here, which honestly I think we will, but it's hard to tell because we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days above it. Well, really, if you count all this, we've had a couple weeks, 2 weeks above it. But this, it seems like most people were waiting for here. So a lot of people front ran it at 3,660, 3,670. So maybe you want to front run it a little bit. That might be a smart thing. Either way, this is the most ideal place to get into Ethereum. That's definitely for sure. Okay, let's keep on going. So I know a lot of people know me for Quant. So if you remember, I bought it at 148. Still holding this. I really wish that this wicked up to my sell price at 244. It only wicked to 235, so $9, $8.50 below my intended sell price. I wanted to sell 30% of it right here. I'm holding on to it still. Contemplating what I'm going to do with this, contemplating if we get another jump up. Honestly, I'll probably, in fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this down to 225 now, and I'm going to sell 30% of what I sold here up here, and then I will wait and I'll sell 10% more up here, and then 90% of what I have left up here, all in the hopes of rebuying it lower. Although, if we enter a bull market after these lows, like, it would be sort of stupid to sell it here and then, like, that be it, and then not ride it all the way up. But this is just there's just so much resistance. This entire area is just so much resistance that I really, and it's 10% above 225, so that's why I wanted to sell it here, but like now it never reached there, which is not good. So that's why I would rather sell it here instead, just to secure some profits. I still have Quant, of course. I have a lot of Quant, so I'm just gonna hold on to it for the most part. It's almost like is there even a point in trading this? Is there a point in trading anything? It's 57% down from the highs. 66%. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. That actually reminds me. Let's go back to Bitcoin real quickly. 40% is the magic number. We're at around 30%. Okay, so 30%. Let's look at this. Let's go back here. From the highs to lows, this was around 50%, a 50% drop. Okay, highs to lows, around a 30% drop. Okay, in 2017, we had a 30, 35, 32% drop. So I guess 30% is the number, you know, 30%. But it's so funny. People in 2017, like, they compare what's happening now to then. Like, look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, there's a few. Like, once it started, there was hardly any downside. It was just all up, 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 up. So easy. And in here, it's like, we got this whole big thing to wipe everybody out. We got this to wipe everybody out. We got this to wipe everybody out. Lots of wipeouts. It was way easier in 2017. Or maybe it's easier now because we understand, like, oh, you know, it'll bounce up even higher. I don't know. Let's go back. Let's go back to here. So yeah, I showed you quant. That's basically my thing. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't like how it's underneath all of these. I guess I'm gonna change it to sell 30% here instead of 244. I'll sell it 224. Okay, continuing on. The next coin that I have on my market scan is Cardano, and if it reaches around 67% from the highs, which is around $1, that's when I'll go back in, because I mean, look at all this major support right here. So I think this is a pretty good level to get into Cardano. All right, I just moved on to Solana, and Solana looks similar to Cardano in the fact that, you know, we had this huge move up, consolidation, another huge move up, and now it's on its way back down. So honestly, I'll buy it if it comes back down to 120. So I put alert in there because that's the 61.8 golden ratio. However, if it falls beneath there, I would want to definitely get out on a bounce back up to it, because it could, I mean, I don't think it's going to go to 62 unless we're in a real bear market, because that's, especially for a coin like Solana with so much backing, 70-80% drop is sort of ridiculous. But yeah, I could definitely see it falling here to 120 during this bear phase. Although every time I said that I could see Solana falling, it's never fallen that far. Last time I said 90 something, and it obviously it only went to 120. Didn't even reach 100. So Solana is a different beast. Solana against Bitcoin, I don't know what this type of formation is, but yeah, if it comes down here, I'm definitely gonna buy Solana against Bitcoin, and I already put the USD thing on there too, so we have all that. Dogecoin is something that I'm gonna load up a little bit right here. Not a lot. I'm just gonna throw a little bit in, and then obviously if it comes down to 9 cents, 10 cents, I'm gonna put a lot into Doge, because it does the cycle up and down every couple of years, so, or every couple of months or whatever. So Dogecoin, I'm simply just waiting on that. I put a little bit in right now at, 17 cents, but really if it comes down to 10 cents, 9 to 10 cents, that's the big thing. DOT, really, really sad, because I sold all of my DOT right here, and then I bought all of it back right here. I just sold it. I sold it here on the, if we go to the daily chart, I sold it here, and then we came up, had a bounce off here, and then another bounce, and I was like, all right, screw it. So then I bought it back. So I'm down heavily on DOT, but DOT is one of my long-term investments. It's DOT, I think DOT is just keeping their head down, working, creating parachains, building out an infrastructure. the layer one that should blow up like Solana did, like Avax did. I just don't know why DOT didn't blow up like Solana or Avax, and it's really, really, really annoying because DOT was my favorite, and I think that it deserves the most out of all of them. The technology is there. It's like fundamentally it's stronger. It has the co-creator of Ethereum, you know, created Polkadot. So it's all there. It's just, I guess the marketing around it, the hype around it wasn't that good. I don't know. But if it comes back up to $45, that's when I'm going to be getting out of DOT, or that's when I'm going to be selling a portion of my DOT here over at $45, just because that's what I'm doing. It's a good resistance to get out. Just a couple more that I want to mention in this video is Link. If you look at Link, you could see that we had a huge trend right here. It tapped it again, and it's actually tapping it again. So this is actually a really good time to buy Link right around these levels of $18, between $17 and $18. Maybe it'll fall below here, and that won't be good. But if it does, I'll get out of my trade. But this is a good, very, very good support. It's held up multiple times over all the way since March 2020. So over a year and a half now, over almost 2 years, not 2 years quietly, but a year and 3/4. And if it does fall down here, maybe I'll get out, and then I'll try to rebuy it back here at, if it reaches 8.8, I'm definitely buying it and just holding it for the long run. That's for sure. So that's Link. The one that's going crazy is Matic though. It's like I don't know what is happening with Matic, but it is just an absolute beast. It's literally down 9 single digits from the highs. I am pretty mad that I sold all of my Matic a while ago, and it's like, okay, I guess Matic is just one of those coins that's just, and look at this formation. It's in an ascending triangle that, you know, once ascending triangles break out, they just go up. They just go up like that. So Matic is the one I'm averaging in. I bought some here. I'll buy more here. I'll buy more here. I'll buy more here. I'll buy more. I'll just keep on buying Matic because apparently it's a god coin that never goes down. Mana also looks Mana. This is my play for Mana. I have shorted it. You know, but this is now, I don't like it, so I'm going to bring this all the way up here. Yeah, in fact, I got to change this, and I got to tell everybody. So let me do that real quick. And then I guess the last one that I want to go over is Avax Avalanche. Again, Avalanche is just another beast. It's down 19% only 19% from the highs. And this is like, remember Ethereum had this long diagonal? Same thing with Link, had this long diagonal. So honestly, now looking at this makes me think that if Link comes down, breaks diagonal, I should just hold on to it, because like this one broke the diagonal and then came back up. Ethereum is breaking the diagonal right now. It's right here. So maybe I'll just hold on to Link. I mean Ethereum as well, you know, because if Avalanche busts up 50% in the last couple days, what's stopping other coins, you know? I have no idea why these coins are pumping, you know? But yeah, this was the 61.8, and then I got out at 38.2. But this is definitely this is a coin. If it drops low, if it comes back to this. In fact, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in if it comes back to this diagonal support line. That's basically all I could do, because that's the only support I have, other than, of course, this new support line right here, which is fairly obvious, which you would want to get in. So I could add some here. I could double down here, and that would be the Avax position. That's for sure. And so yeah, those were just a couple outliers from the whole market. And my overall consensus of the market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the other ones that I just went over. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next update. Keep on stacking those sats, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.